In the far-off land of Uzbek, where the dawn light bathed the endless meadows in golden hues, lived a man named Job. The Bible describes him as blameless and upright, who feared God and shunned evil. Job was not only rich in silver and gold, with 7,000 sheep and 3,000 camels, but he was also rich in virtue.
To the finest harvest in 10 years!
Cheers to us!
Every morning, while the dew still clung to the grass, the father would stand by the stone altar and offer sacrifices for his 10 children.
It may be that my sons have sinned and cursed God in their hearts.
But that peace was only the prelude to a terrible storm from the spiritual realm. Satan challenged Job's loyalty before the Almighty. And then, on the darkest day of history, 4 messengers of darkness appeared, one after another.
Master, I alone have escaped to tell you. The Sabaeans have carried away the livestock. The Sabaeans fell upon them and took them away. The fire of God fell from heaven.
The Chaldeans formed 3 bands and raided the camels. The Chaldeans formed 3 bands and raided the camels.
His possessions vanished in the flames. His servants fell under the sword, and the greatest sorrow of all, a desert wind blew down his house, taking the lives of all his children.
The house fell on them, and they are dead.
Amidst the ruins of life, Job rose up. He did not curse life, nor did he blame God. He tore his luxurious blue cloak, shaved off his salt and pepper hair, and prostrated himself in the dust. That was the moment when faith became greatest, when it had nothing left to cling to except God himself. Naked I came from my mother's womb. Naked I will return. Blessed be the name of the Lord.
You speak like one of those foolish women.
Do we truly accept good things while rejecting misfortune? Naked I came from my mother's womb.
Praise the name of the Lord. Before his emotional pain had subsided, Job's body was attacked by a terrible, malignant disease. From his feet to the top of his head were foul-smelling, agonizing sores that hurt to the bone. Job was no longer the wealthy man of Uzbek, but a crippled man, sitting on a pile of ashes, using shards of pottery to scratch his bleeding wounds. Even his wife, who was always by his side, couldn't bear the sight.
Are you still holding on to your integrity?
Shall we accept good from God and not trouble?
Job's three closest friends, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar, came to visit him. When they saw Job from afar, they no longer recognized him. They tore their clothes, wept, and sat in silence with him for 7 days and nights. It was a heavy silence where words of comfort were meaningless in the face of the abyss of suffering. And when Job finally spoke, it was a groan of curses against the very day he was born. Initial sympathy quickly turned into harsh accusations. The three friends attacked Job in the name of religion. They argued that God was just, so if Job suffered, he must surely have committed some hidden sin.
Let the day perish wherein I was born, and the night in which it was said, there is a man-child conceived.
May the day I was born also vanish. Why is light given to the one who suffers?
How long will you say these things?
The Almighty does not pervert justice, Job.
being innocent has ever perished? Where were the upright ever destroyed?
You held up the hands that were falling, but now that it touches you, you are troubled.
My words were hasty, for the arrow of the Almighty is in me.
How long will you say these things? Your words are but wind.
Have pity on me, my friends, for the hand of God has struck me.
Does God pervert justice? If your children sinned, he delivered them into their transgression. Truly I know that it is so. But how can a man be righteous before God?
Without a doubt, you are the people, and wisdom will die with you.
The sun sets on a broken land.
Indeed. Where is the justice in this suffering?
I will say to God, do not condemn me. Tell me why you are in Corinth. Fight with me. Man who is born of a woman is of few days and full of trouble. How long will you say these things? Your words are a great wind.
My friends despise me. My tears flow toward God.
I know that my Redeemer lives.
After my skin has been destroyed, yet in my flesh I shall see God. Troublesome thoughts compel me to answer. The triumph of the wicked is short, and the joy of the godless but for a moment. You say you are blameless, Job, yet look upon your suffering. The Almighty does not afflict the righteous. Confess your sin. Why do the wicked live long, reach old age, and become increasingly powerful?
Your wickedness has brought this upon you.
I am innocent. Why must I suffer this way?
Repent, and the Lord will restore you.
Can a man be of any use to God? My witnesses are in heaven, and my advocate is on high. How can a man be righteous before God? Even the stars are not pure in his sight. How you help the powerless.
As the living God, who has taken away my righteousness, my lips will not speak wicked words.
In the midst of despair, a glimmer of faith shone forth. Job believed that even though his body was broken, there was a living advocate. And when the elders' debate reached a deadlock, the young Elihu appeared like a breath of fresh air. He rebuked both sides and prepared the mind for the arrival of the Almighty.
How dare you bring this shame upon us? You will pay for your deceit.
I am young in years, and you are aged. Therefore I was afraid to declare my opinion. But it is the spirit in a man that gives them understanding.
I have waited for your words, but there was none who refuted Job.
Behold, you have said in my hearing, and I have heard the sound of your words. I am clean, without transgression. God is great, and we do not know him. He disciplines us not to destroy us, but to turn us from evil. How can you say, I am innocent? Why do you contend against him, saying, he does not answer? How can you say, I am innocent? Why do you contend against him, saying, he does not answer? Look at the heavens and see. Behold the clouds, which are higher than you.
God thunders wondrously with his voice. He does great things that we cannot comprehend.
Finally, the sky over Uzbek trembled. A massive whirlwind descended, swallowing up all human reason. God answered Job, not with explanation, but with a revelation of his great power.
Let the Almighty answer me!
When Job humbled himself and prayed for the friends who had heard him, a miracle happened.
My wrath is kindled against you and your 2 friends. For you have not spoken of me what is right, as my servant Job has.
My wrath has risen against you and your 2 companions.
Lord, forgive them, for they knew not your mysteries.
The power of healing flowed through the disabled body. The ulcers disappeared, and the skin became youthful again. God restored to Job 2-fold all that he had lost. 10 new sons were given to him, the most beautiful in the region. God's grace not only compensated for what he had lost, but also made Job's end more blessed than his beginning.
It is so good to see you well again, Job.
We brought you silver and gold.
The Lord has restored everything.
Look at our beautiful sons and daughters. A gift from God, every one of them.
God opened the heavens to pour down double the blessings on Job, restoring what he had lost. New herds of cattle filled the valleys of Uz. Treasures overflowed with silver and gold, and the respect of all returned to him. But the greatest blessing was not in his possessions, but in the restoration of his home. 10 new children, strong sons and the most beautiful daughters in the region, filled the void of past sorrow with joyful laughter.
My heart is full. To see 4 generations gathered here is a true gift.
Job lived for another 140 years in peace and honor. He saw his descendants reach the 4th generation, witnessing the flourishing of a lineage tempered by the fire of trials. Job proved to both heaven and hell that humans can love and revere God selflessly, and that true faith will endure even when everything around them crumbles.
And Job died, old and full of days.